Test Zion only has 5. But you're up to test in this in this segment.
Okay. Test. No, we did test. Yud. Okay. Siman test Vav. Sif Yud. If there's only a minyan mitzumtzum in the Beis HaKnesses, meaning minyan mitzumtzum means exactly 10. I get shilas about this multiple times a week because you got guys itching to leave shul. Only have 10 guys, so they want to start the Kaddish because they know that there's such a din out there that you don't need 10 to answer. Right? So also that nobody's allowed to leave. And if somebody leaves, it says on him, and those that leave Hashem are going to die.
They want to leave and have only 9 people there?
Yes.
Okay. And they think that's okay?
I don't know, because
Well, you don't need 10, so why wouldn't it be okay?
No, you need 10.
You don't need 10 for a
allowed
minion?
to leave. You cannot abandon a minion. If a guy abandons a minion, it's bad
You
stuff.
just said you don't need 10 for
No, that's if one second. Well, let's relax. We'll get to it. Meaning the discussion is about, do you have to wait for 10 to answer Romain for Kaddish? Right? But he's saying the first step, the Kitzur is saying, is that if there's a minion mitzumtzum, exactly 10, and one guy leaves, now you have no minion whatsoever. You cannot start Kaddish. Because it says, you need at least 10 there. But if there's 10 over there, then the extra ones could leave. Right? You're allowed to leave a minion as long as there's going to be a minion left, as long as you heard already. Baruch Hu Kedusha and the Kadeshim after Aleinu. Before that, you're not allowed to leave.
So when are you leaving? It's over already.
After Aleinu, it's over.
Correct. He's saying you can't leave early, but you're not gonna. If you do leave early, you're not gonna get this curse of the pasuk Va'izei Hashem Yichlu.
But if you're hearing the Kaddish after Aleinu, when are you leaving?
I just said, if you leave before then, you will not get the curse of Va'izei Hashem Yichlu. But you're still not allowed to leave. But if you have to leave, you leave. If you have to leave, but you cannot leave before then. If they're not going to have their minion, that's the way I'm understanding the kids. Right? Fine. But the Evid in Leinisharu Asara, but the Evid, if you don't have 10, this is the cooler right here from the Kitzur. But the Evid, if you don't have 10, you're allowed to continue without 10. Rakshi Roiv minion as an Indian she'eschilu ba'asara. As long as you need to have roiv minion, you have 6. As long as you're continuing in the Indian that you started, meaning, let's see. Let's say that just the shliach tzibur starts chazaras hashatz. Then when he starts with 10, then one guy just gets fed up and he leaves. Then you goimer chazaras kol tefila v'ayim kedusha v'gam aymer alekinem v'klevasenim parchinim v'abracha aval eina kainim noisin es kapeim, but they can't duchen. Meaning, they start Chazaras Hashatz, and a guy gets fed up with how slow the Chazan is reading. So he leaves. You finish Chazaras Hashatz. Oh, there's no minion there. Don't make a difference. You're allowed to finish. But you can't start. You can't start unless you have 10 in there. But once you start, you can continue that section of the davening.
So, what about if you have, like at work, sometimes we get stuck. We only have 10 people for a minion for Mincha. There's slim pickings with from Jews at this hospital. Doctor gets a call. He's got to run. We have 9.
Yeah. Where are you up to?
Let's say it's during Shmona Esrei.
During Shmona Esrei, you cannot start Chazaras Hashatz.
So we just don't do Chazaras Hashatz?
Yeah.
We literally just stop there. No Aleinu, no nothing?
Aleinu, you have to say Aleinu anyways. You can't say Kaddish or Chazaras Hashatz. But if he leaves in middle, you say Baruch Atah Hashem, and then the guy picks up and leaves, then you can.
What do you say
about what?
If a guy leaves after Baruch Hu, you could do the whole Shema Esther with 9 people?
No, after Baruch Hu, no. Each section, he's going to say now which section, how we split up the sections. Let's see. V'gam Ein Imrim Kaddish Lachash Shmanes. I mean, you could finish Chazaras Hashatz, but you can't say Kaddish after Shmanes. Ki Hema and Yonam Acherim. They're separate in Yonam. Right? That Inyan you could finish. Right? Let's say you started laning with 10, you can finish the Kriya Satara. I will ain my sifin, but you're not allowed to add on. The gam ain kar in the maftir, and meaning you can't add on aliyas, and you can't call up a maftir. The guy with the last aliyah, so he reads after. Right, so basically that section you could finish. You can't start another section. That's without a minion. But it has to be as long as you started with a minion. Fine, Yud Aleph, and it's a bad punishment if you leave a minion hanging. That it says. Fine, Yud Aleph. Shliach Tzibur tzarich sheyeh hagun. Shliach Tzibur needs to be proper. Shenemer nasna lai bekoila al kain sinesiyah. So V'amar Rabbi Senu Zal zeh Shliach Tzibur she'eno hagun v'yar l'fnei teva. Shliach Tzibur who's not proper and he goes in front of the teva is going to be hated by Hashem. Ve'ezu hagun. What does it mean? Hagun zeu shereikon me'averus. He's empty from averus. Upirkoi noah. Pirish, what does that mean? He doesn't have a bad reputation. Afilu bi yaldusai, even when he's a yeled. I don't know who's playing around with the. Okay, I gotta know what just happened. I'm still on. You hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
You have to be humble. Umarutza l'kahol, and the kihila has to want him. She yaskimu l'tfilas, and they have to be masculine that he should be the chazan. And it needs to be sweet, and he has to be sweet and attractive would be that pulls people's hearts. And he has to be somebody who learns Tanakh so that he could read properly. The main white and Misha by Kolamitas
To go up for a mincha, he's got to be a superstar, man.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, you're right. I don't know. It's what it sounds like. Yeah. No, basically it means you got to be that's not so hard. I think most people meet.
We just go with the guy who says yes.
It's true, but hopefully the guy that says yes knows how to read.
Okay.
And most Yidden, I think, have a good reputation. The main might see and Misha by Kolamitas Alol, if you can't find somebody like that, then just pick the best available. I guess, David, that's what you're doing. You're picking the best available. Yud base.
That's pretty much what I always do. I just get stuck doing it.
There you go. So you get.
I'm always stuck. I'm not the best available at all.
Maybe you are. If you're the one that's doing it, then you are. Okay, Yud base. A person should not go up to beat a chazan without the rotzen of the kilo. If somebody goes up and downs without permission because he's a strong man or gaiva, we don't answer amen after his brachas. You know what I'm saying? You don't even answer amen. Fine. Yud Gimel Ein Maman on the Shiyot Tzibur Kavua Elamishan is Malus Kanai. This is an interesting halacha because people are not makbid on this. You cannot send up for a chazan only somebody who has a full beard. That is another word for saying 20 years old. Right? But once in a while, they could down once in a while. But you have some times that they're constantly putting up a bar mitzvah bacher, especially a new bar mitzvah. He says he always wants to daven for Rambam, so you can't do it in a kavua time. A bar mitzvah until he's 20 cannot be the set chazan. Okay, and the Mefarshim bring that in yeshivas where all they have is 8th graders or high school boys, then it's motu. Siman Tazayin Dini of Sakas B'Brichas Kriyashma B'Kriyashma. When are you allowed to be masik and how are you allowed to be masik? Boy, hey, sifim. Fine. Aleph. Kriyashma Shalosh Brichas Shein Yoitzer Or Avarava Emes V'Yatzim. All those three. V'chein B'Mayr Kriyashma Brichas in Chaburas Yoisim B'Psuka de Zimra. They're even more common than Psuka de Zimra. V'chein Nechlakas the Prakim, and we split it up into different sections. What's considered between Prakim? Ben Yoitzer Hamayros Lahava Rava. Ben Abaycher Bama Yisrael Be'ava L'Shma Yisrael. Ben Ubisharecha L'Vayim Shemaya. Ben Al-Oretz L'Yam. base, bein aprakim. So what are you? So there's basically this in middle of the parak, and then what the Kitzur just said is between bein aprakim, which is basically at the end of a bracha before the next bracha. So bein aprakim, mutalemer amin al kol bracha shushemei. You're allowed to hear. You're allowed to answer amin on any bracha you hear. Because again, the mutalan is kedusha, and of course kedusha, lekadish, lebaruch. Ava baruch hu baruch shemai lo yaimar. You can't say baruch hu baruch shemai. V'gam im shemei hashakol amim kriya shema. And if you hear the Kehillah saying Kriya Shema lo yamer imam as a pasuk Shema Yisrael, normally when you hear a tzibur saying Kriya Shema, you have to say Shema Yisrael with them. But don't do that even in between brachas. Elo yamer mashu im b'kol ram. Say whatever you're saying b'kol ram. Let's say you're up to Kihen Chayenu. So when the tzibur says Shema Yisrael, so you say out loud Kihen Chayenu, so it sounds like you're saying Shema, but you're really not. So it looks like as if you're reading with them. In the middle of a parak, meaning in the middle of all these brachas, you're not allowed to answer. I mean, because those are the most important. The other Amenim Shabbat you should not answer because it's not the Iker Kaddish. But Kedusha Yishtaik, and by Kedusha you should be quiet for Yishma Mishliach Hatziver V'Yamer Imakol Kaddish 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 Hashem Tzavakos V'Lai Chalaretz Kavoidoi V'Yishtaik V'Yamer Imakol Baruch Kavod Hashem Kaimai. That's it. So you only say Kaddish 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 and Baruch Hashem Kavoid and nothing in between. V'Yaiser Lo Yaimar, and don't say more than that. And on Shabbos, you don't say Mim Kaimcha, etc.
What does it mean during the week more than that? Don't say. Saying Sfar doesn't, Ashkenaz doesn't say.
Yimlai.
Right, but he's not talking about the summer Shafim for Ashkenaz, but Sfar they say that, right?
Some Ashkenaz say.
Oh, some do say. Okay.
Yeah. She'ena Mekra Kedusha, those things are not part of Ekra Kedusha. Neither is Yimlai. Let's say you hear the word Baruch Hu, whether it's from the Shliach Tzibur or somebody getting an Aliyah. Aine Baruch Hashem Baruch L'Olam V'Ed. V'gam Amen Sha'acha Brichas Ha'ela. V'makol Aimer Maidim. Yishche Gamkein. If the Tzibur is saying Maidim, he should also bend a little and say V'yamer Maidim Manach B'Loch V'Lo Yais. V'mshamei call Ram, and let's say you hear thunder. Yesham the Mutter Lo Gamkein L'Hafsik L'Varach. So there are those that say that it's mutter also to be mafsik and to make the bracha on the thunder. But yesh amar the lo yafsik, and there are those that say you should not be mafsik. I think the accepted practice is not to make the thunder during the birchas kriya shema. Fine. Dalin elu hafsakas shamarnu shemudu lahafsik be'emtza perek. So these are the hafsakas that you're allowed to, that are mutter to be mafsik in the middle of a perek. Imhu bebrachas. If he's in the middle of the brachas, you should be mechavan of the hefsek that you finished the inyan. If you're in the middle of kriya shema, then you have to have kavana to have hefsek bein pasuk lepasuk. And if it's impossible, then you're allowed to answer even in the middle of a pasuk. In the middle of a pasuk, and then go back to the beginning of the pasuk. Right? Meaning, so basically, if you're stuck in the middle of the brachas answering something, you should try and at least get to the end of the sentence. And in Kriya Shema, try get also the same thing. But in Kriya Shema, if you're masik in the middle of a sentence, then you have to go back to the beginning of that sentence. Hey, Mashamarnu shemutu lahafsik be'emtza perek udvarim shamarnu. For this time we said that it's mutter to be masik in the middle of a perek. The things that we said, Eina hadin b'pasuk Shema Yisrael Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay L'Olam V'Ed. The din, you don't have that by the pasuk Shema Yisrael Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay L'Olam V'Ed. Behem asur lahafsik b'chol inyan. If you're holding by Shema and then you hear an Amen or something like that, then you're not allowed to be mafsik at all. Even if a king comes and asks you how you're doing, you're not allowed to answer. Between Ani Hashem and V'yatzav you also can't. That's why we don't say it because as everybody knows, I'm sure, Shema ends with Ani Hashem Elokeichem, not the word emes. Because the pasuk in Yirmiyah says emes, so that's why we try and connect it to Hashem Elokeichem emes v'yatziv. It's proper not to be mafsik until you say the word v'yatziv. If you should gam v'yatziv, we lashon emes. V'yatziv is also a lashon of emes. And then after that, you can be mafsik like any other place that's in the middle of a parak. Din lishol b'shleim l'hashiv shalom bizman hazeh ein makpidin ve'ein lahafsik b'zeh afilu ben ha'prokim. This whole din of being mafsik to say hello to people and to answer hello, he's saying that's not negeya. That's not negeya bizman hazeh. So there's nobody that's considered chashuv. There's nobody that's considered chashuv for that. Okay, we'll stop over here. Hopefully everybody will be on time to davening, so then these halachas won't be negeya. All right. Sorry about the background noise.
The whole party going on over there.
Let me tell you, it's the Shlishi Lamila. So
it's quiet in my house.
Yeah. All right. What can you do? I apologize. All right. Good talk, everybody.